The Dogs' deed is done. What can I say? They were the best. They really stood out. They put it all together when it counts, and that's what the sport's all about. What a routine.
And that just may do it for Georgia here tonight.
Wow.
The Jim Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Jim Dog Show. Joining me today is Abby Stack, one of our seniors, in Suzanne's absence as a result of the snow that we've had here in Athens over the last 2 days. About 7 to 8 inches really kind of dumped on us. I've never seen anything like it in the state of Georgia as long as I've been here. But it was a great weekend here in Stegman Coliseum for the Jim Dogs. We had a record crowd. We had ESPN in town. We set records on every event, Abby, and just had a fantastic meet from the beginning, scoring a 198.2, which is the highest that we've ever had in the last 10 years, dating back to 1999 when we scored a 198.375. Abby, talk to us about the atmosphere that was in the Coliseum on Saturday.
Well, you know, it snowed here in Athens, but it was hot in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. The crowd was great. Loud throughout the entire meet. You know, it was just exciting all around. We got the momentum started early, as we talk about, and I think we continued it throughout the entire meet.
And one of the things that we talked about going into this competition was fight, and that was sort of a theme coming out of the meet that we had the week previous. And Courtney, one of your classmates, took it upon herself to go around town and find boxing gloves for everybody, and so it was a surprise in our team meeting. We went into the Coliseum to the theme from Rocky, which was sort of apropos to the whole thing. Came in with boxing gloves on and really just trying to capture the momentum and keep fighting all the way through a meet. We didn't feel like we had a complete meet to this point, and it was just nice to see that we were able to do that on Saturday. So as we go forward, let's take a look at the highlights from the first two rotations of Georgia versus Florida on a record-setting day. Well, here we are at Stegman Coliseum, and the fans are really into this one. This is Georgia, Florida, and in any sport, if you're a Georgia fan, you get up for this one. And of course, in gymnastics, with Florida doing as well as they've done recently, it's even bigger. And our team's really ready for it. Lauren Sessler gets us started off with a very nice vault right there. 9.85 is her score. Could get a little more amplitude. You're going to see that she still gets a little bit of an elbow bend right there on the table. We'd like to get a little more rise off the table, but a pretty clean landing, and goes 9.85. Hillary Morrow doing the 1.5 for the first time this year. Nails it, sticks it. Look at her face. She's so excited, surprised. Can't believe she just drilled it like that. She goes 9.9. It's a career high for Hillary, and Hillary's really turned into a spark plug for us and a real good leader in so many ways with what she does. And so we're just excited when good things happen for her, and 9.9 is certainly a great start for her to start the meet. Alicia Goodwin back over on bars for Florida. A giant full, a little bit late. Kachev, pretty nicely done. Florida's handstand work was pretty good on this day. Bailed a handstand, pretty good there. Comes back to the high bar. A little short on that handstand. It's hard to see from that angle. But from where we were standing, a double front there. Just a little bit of a hop there on the landing, 9.875. Tiffany Tolnay back on vault for us. She's still doing the Yurchenko full as that foot's giving her trouble. But a big Yurchenko full. Just a little bit of a step there on the landing, 9.9, but amplitude-wise, this might have been the biggest vault in the meet. She gets significant rise off the table. A little bit of a pike in and a hip angle there, but a great vault nonetheless. Back on bars, Melanie Sinclair. Melanie does big releases. This is one of them, the Hindorf right there. A little bit in on that. That was not one of her better ones. It didn't quite turn over the way she'd like it to. Ginger, very nicely done from the giant full. Melanie's from Orlando Metro. A little short there on the bail to handstand. This is not, Melanie's been scoring 10s. She's scored 10s on this event several times. This is so far not one of her best routines on bars. Nice double layout, lands it very well as she always does, 9.875. Courtney Kupets on vault for us. Yurchenko half front pike, beautifully done. A little bit of a hop on the landing, not much at all to take. 9.925 is her score. And you'll see the rise right here off the table. Excellent amplitude. The legs come apart a little bit right before she lands. Don't know if the judges could see that or not. 9.925. Kat Ding gets us started on bars. She mounts the bar from outside of the high bar. They call that out bar. Nice giant full right on top. Tkachev. Kat's handstand work today was the best she's done all year long. Dead vertical on every handstand. Nice pack salto. Good extension and turn on the, you see the half pirouette right on top of the bar. It's not flying through it. Good handstand there. The double layout here. Just a step there on the landing, 9.875, a little step. Career high for Kat. So a great start on bars. We've got the momentum going, and here's Gina Nuccio. 2 freshmen in a row now on bars. Both of them doing the job. A little late on that giant full. Nothing too major, though. The Ginger was enormous, and from this angle, it's hard to see. From the other side, it was very large. Excellent handstand there. Full twisting double tuck. Lands it very cleanly. Sticks the dismount. 9.9 is her score. Back over on vault, Melanie Sinclair. She is a powerful athlete. Big Yurchenko full. Just a little bit of a hop. It's hard to tell how those landings are on those big 8-inch mats like that, but a 9.875. Grace Taylor, hop change, front stalder, half pirouette. Very nice. A little bit of a leg problem there on the bail. Everything else has been perfect so far. The Comaneci, excellent. Last handstand up. We're looking for the landings now. This is the key as we get down the stretch. Little step there again, 9.9. Tiffany Tolnay on bars. And Tiffany, as always, has the best handstand work of anybody, maybe in the country. I've never seen anybody as consistently hit dead vertical the way she does. Blind change to Jaeger for her first release. The second release is right here. Bail to handstand, dead on top. Last handstand all the way to vertical. Nice giant full. Finishes very high. Good stretch into the double front, and then that step there, 9.9 again. So if we can really land these dismounts, the scores are going to be amazing. Miranda Smith with a 9.9 on vault. Yurchenko full with a hop. So the judges are being consistent. They're looking at the amplitude as well as the landings, and that's important because there's more to a vault than just a landing. Shaposhnikova, overshoot to handstand from Courtney Kupets. This is the hop full to the reverse hect. She likes that to be a little more distance when she catches it, but her handstands are all up. And a double lay that she just sticks like a dart in the ground, 9.975. So after 2 rotations, we've got a good one going, and we realize it. A 98.975 to a 97.9 as Florida has counted a fall on vault.
The Gym Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. By GeorgiaDogs.com. GeorgiaDogs.com, the official website of the Georgia Bulldogs. By Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal healthcare organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By Alpha Factor. Alpha Factor, the official gymnastics apparel worn by the Gym Dogs. By the Georgia Club. The Georgia Club, a community of neighborhoods in Bulldog Country. By Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes, the official Honda of the Georgia Gym Dogs. And brought to you by John Bull's stores in the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean.
Ask Suzanne, brought to you by GeorgiaDogs.com. And while I am not Suzanne, the question for Suzanne is, will Courtney McCool be back on floor this season? And the answer is, we don't really know. It's highly unlikely because we've got 2 regular season meets left prior to the SEC championships, and she's just now getting going again, so it's not likely at this point. And that's Ask Suzanne, brought to you by GeorgiaDogs.com. Welcome back. Well, Abby, that was an unbelievable first 2 rotations for us. We got really started hot on vault. Went over to bars. Florida, who's an incredibly talented team, for some reason put 5 up on vault and had a fall. So they're counting a fall after the first 2 rotations, and we've got a significant lead. Although I think we would have had a significant lead anyway because we went 49.425 on vault and then 49.55 on the bars. two outstanding performances from our team. And we're headed over to Beam now, Abby, and talk to us a little bit about the mental and the mindset of the team as we go into this third rotation.
You know, I think we had a significant lead over Florida, but none of us really knew that. We were really focused on our team, what we were doing. We were excited about certain people getting out there. We were also excited about Courtney McCool coming back, and I think we were just going on to Beam, you know, excited for that event, focused on our team, you know, ready to get after it.
Right, and that was something that we had talked about, again, you know, going into the meet, making sure we stay focused for 4 events, regardless of what happens, regardless of anything that could be a distraction, and certainly getting out to a big lead can be a distraction if you let it. So we're headed over to Beam now. We're really trying to stay focused. Let's take a look at the highlights on the balance beam. So we go over to Beam, and Hillary Morrow gets us started off. As usual, and Hillary is, you know, it takes a special person to be in that first spot on Beam because it takes someone that's very confident, that doesn't have a lot of problems with nerves, and as you can see, Hillary's done that all year. Solid on the series, solid on the front aerial straddle jump, punch front that she breaks out of and stands straight up. I mean, really textbook on virtually everything she's doing here so far. Cat leap the switch side, no balance checks whatsoever throughout this routine. Round off double full that she sticks, and 9.9, another career high for Hillary, so she's really on a roll tonight. Amy Ferguson on floor, front double full on her first pass. Round off 1.5 to front layout, that's a C plus 1/10 in the middle. And a front full to front pike last pass goes 9.875, so you can tell right away the scores may be a little high on floor for both teams as we head to that event. Courtney McCool back on balance beam. And this is her first balance beam routine of the year. She did bars for us, was a little bit nervous, did an okay routine, 9.775 was her score. You can see she's very solid so far here on her balance beam routine though. Big switch side, that's how you want them done. You can see a 180-degree split as she turns in the air. We've watered this routine down so that she's comfortable with it. We said, she's only been training beam for about a week and a half. She did a front aerial there. But Courtney is so technically perfect on everything she does that it doesn't take a lot of numbers for her to get the core of her skills back. Training under Al Fong and Alan Armane Fong out in Kansas City. They did a great job with her basics, and so everything is technically as sound as I've ever seen in any gymnast that we've ever had here at Georgia. Round off double full, little tiny step, but a great way to come back on balance beam for the first time this year, a 9.95. All-American Amanda Castillo on floor. She opens with a whip to double tuck. Front layout, that is no bonus. That's a B plus a B. She's been nursing a little bit of a foot injury this year, I think, so they probably got her watered back a little bit. Finishes with a double pike and goes 9.875. Grace Taylor back on balance beam, the defending national champion on this event. And you see why. Just as solid as she ever is. She had a couple little balance checks right here. No, that was not it. Keep thinking I remembered it, but there it is, right there after the straddle jump. Just a little bit of a balance check. That's really the only deduction in the entire routine. Grace works the beam just with a flow that is unparalleled by anybody in the country, really. Another tiny little balance check there. And then sticks the dismount and goes 9.9. Courtney Kupets finishing out our beam lineup. And at this point, we've already got a great beam score. So Courtney can just relax and do what she does, and you can see she's flying through this routine just as relaxed as she can possibly be. You see how she pushed that series all the way down the beam. That's when she's at her best. Sometimes she doesn't use the space on the beam, doesn't use the entire length of the beam, and doesn't really push through on every skill, and that's when she runs into trouble. But on that one, she used the entire length of the beam, and you love to see that. Little bit of a hesitation there, not really a deduction in terms of a wobble, but a little bit of a break in the connection. But a 49.55 on balance beam, and so we've stretched our lead to a little over a point going into the last rotation. So the meet's pretty much in hand, but the point is we've got to finish the meet.
Hi, my name is Hensley. Marcia, is it hard to be a tall gymnast?
Thank you for the question, Hensley. And no matter what size you are, it's easy to do gymnastics as long as you work hard for it. Being tall gives me an extra dimension. I like being tall rather than being small, but each to his own. Thanks.
My name is Weston Bell, and my favorite thing about the Georgia Gym Dog Gymnastics team is that I get to see perfect 10s, like when Grace got a 10 on the bars last year in Athens.
Welcome back. We just got done with beam highlights, and what a great beam set that was to have Courtney McCool back, and Hillary Morrow, Paige Burns really did well there. We're on the floor now, and like we said at the beginning with the Rockies theme, you know, we are fighting to the end. It doesn't matter if we have this meet. We are going to keep going and keep knocking them down.
That's right, and the meet pretty much is at hand, but our focus all along has been we've got to have a complete meet today, and so the team stays very focused, and starting us off on floor in front of a huge crowd, 10,224 fans. They're very excited because they know we've got a great score going at this point, and Abby gets us started off as a senior going 9.9, and when you've got a 9.9 right out of the gate, that backs the judges into a corner, and that's one of the reasons Abby's up there first, because she opens with a big triple full, finishes with a double pike, and is capable of going 9.9, and so it backs the judges into a corner, and they don't have a whole lot of wiggle room from then on if our routines continue to build, and so a great start for us on that event, Abby, and just talk to us about the way that rotation kind of built throughout.
Well, you got to love that crowd, Jay. I mean, 10,000 plus people, you know, they were loud and crazy, and it was just great. And, you know, I think we did start off really well, and we just kind of continued on from there. And like you said, they couldn't really go anywhere. Our routines kept getting better and better.
You're right, Abby, and things really built to a crescendo with Courtney getting a 10 for the first time on floor exercise for her in front of that fantastic crowd. Great atmosphere. Let's take a look at the floor highlights. So we're headed over to floor, and Abby Stack will be first for us. And it's great to have a senior, one of your leaders in this position, going first up on the final event in a meet of this magnitude, or in any meet, because you know what you're going to get. Abby's done floor for us every year she's been here. Triple full, just a little hop there to the side. But again, we saw in some of the floor routines before us that we thought the judging was a little bit liberal, so there's still a chance that she gets a good score. Very clean right there on the middle pass. Finishes with a nice double pike to finish out her floor set. And she does get a 9.9, which matches her career high on that event. Marcia Newby stepping in the absence of Cassidy McComb, who got hurt the day before this meet. She will be back. Great double pike there from Marcia. Whip, immediate double full. Pretty cleanly done. This is a nice routine going here, and Marcia's having a good time. Marcia does not get to train an awful lot because it hurts her legs. So she just had to do it kind of on a moment's notice. She does bare minimal numbers and goes 9.925. Grace Taylor opens with a beautiful double pike from a whip. Comes back with a double tuck right here. Just a little bit of a lunge there. Not much of a deduction. She does land high, and that's the main thing the judges are looking for. A 2.5 right there at the end. Grace goes 9.925 and has another season high. Courtney Kupets. With Tiffany going last because her foot was bothering her or weren't sure if we were going to go. That's a beautiful double Arabian right there, folks. That's about as good as they get. Her legs were completely together. I was standing behind it and could see their knees were totally together. The whip half, Rudy, the Shushanova. So she's got an E or a D in every pass, and that's going to be the difference on this night between Georgia and Florida is the difficulty. We're scoring about a quarter of a tenth to a half tenth higher than them on similar routines because of the difficulty, and Courtney gets a 10 for the first time in her career. Tiffany Tolnay, the meet's at hand, but she wants to go because she hadn't had a lot of numbers, hadn't been able to practice. You see a squat there on the Arabian double. That's the only deduction in this entire routine. Beautiful 2.5 punch front. Nothing really to take there. And then finishes up strong with a double tuck. Lands it very high, very nicely done. And goes 9.925. So we finished the meet with the highest score of the season for anyone in the country, a 198.2 to a 196.65 with season highs on every single event and 9 single highs from individuals. An amazing meet all the way around. Routine of the week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center, and this week's routine is Hillary Morrow with a 9.9 on vault for the first time doing her Yurchenko 1.5. That's Routine of the week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center. Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Melwood Springs, and holding on to the number 1 spot, the Georgia Gym Dogs. Second is Utah. This week's opponent, UCLA, is in the 6th spot, and rounding out the top 10 with 5 SEC schools in the top 10 is Arkansas. That's Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Melwood Springs. Well, there you have it. A record score, a record crowd, just an overall a record day. We had 16 9-9s, Abby, on today, and 9 career highs on different events. So now we've got that momentum, that elusive momentum that has kind of prevented us from doing what we want to do all year. How do we maintain that as we head to UCLA next weekend?
Well, you know, Jay, we put it all together for once, and I think it just went to go show the team that we can do it. It gives everyone the confidence to keep going. We're going to go out to UCLA confident in our lineup, and I think that's really going to be what keeps us going.
So now we head out to UCLA for a meet against the Bruins on Sunday afternoon. Should be an excellent meet for us. They are a very talented team, the number 1 team in the nation on vault. And so we're looking forward to doing that. And I want to thank Abby Stack for sitting in for Suzanne today. And we'll see you next week with the highlights from Georgia UCLA from Pauley Pavilion.
The Jim Dog Show has been brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. By GeorgiaDogs.com. GeorgiaDogs.com, the official website of the Georgia Bulldogs. By Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal healthcare organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By Alpha Factor. Alpha Factor, the official gymnastics apparel worn by the Gym Dogs. By the Georgia Club. The Georgia Club, a community of neighborhoods in Bulldog Country. By Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes, the official Honda of the Georgia Gym Dogs. And brought to you by John Bull's Stores in the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean.